Hey, what's up? It's your boy Dave, and today we're going to watch albums that I wish came out by only small buys. I don't have much to say. Let's just get into it.
Today's video, I'm going to be looking at albums that I personally wish came out, but didn't for some reason. There's gotta be a term for that. This ranges from stuff that was hyped up but never materialized to stuff that maybe got
Somebody
revealed.
get that nigga Kanye. You've been wilding recently.
Hey yo, what the fuck? Show it to me if I can't have it. This is in preparation for the next full video on unreleased albums, which also covers projects and artists with even crazier stories. So if you end up enjoying this vid and don't want to miss that and aren't already, consider subscribing. It means it's
Maybe I will check that video out.
Enjoy.
Actually, let me turn these captions off.
What? A video about me on my channel? Unthinkable. I just thought it'd be fun to look at some albums that I personally wish came out. Too many times have I been let down by the beast of the music biz. This entire video is Kanye alone, but they've already done it for me. So albums exist.
How many times has Kanye released an album or something that never came out? It's gotta be too many times to count.
Thank you. Hold your applause. But really, the creation process for an album can vary so much between artists and can be really exciting, especially if it's from an artist you really like, getting all hyped up or at least a little interested. But you know when an artist announces something and you go, wow, sweet, can't wait to hear that. And then you keep waiting. These are albums that I personally wish came out, things I've heard about or heard stuff from, and really wish they released, but didn't for whatever reason. From shaping to be something great to instead getting graded. To start us off, I got a Kanye record. Who could have seen that coming? As of right now, there's a couple pics and statements I wish he unreleased, but alas, here we are. And first up, we got
Yo, little brother love me. He say, Yeezy got some fresh clothes, your gram.
Look, you're expecting Yandi. I'll cover that beast soon enough. Because to get there, I want to talk about...
I'm not gonna lie, the snippet on Good Boy, that sounded like trash.
What used to be the holy grail of unreleased Ye albums. That being his originally planned fourth project, Good Ass Job. Aw, thanks, man. So for those that don't know, as far back as 2003, the Kanye College trilogy we all know and love was actually planned to be a quadrilogy, a four-piece with this album concluding the series. But in 08, with the passing of his mother and his girl going see ya, his plans for this project would get derailed a bit, as he would channel all this newly acquired frustration and emotion into his next record, 808s and Heartbreak. But he wasn't fully done with his resume, originally titling it Winter, Spring, Summer, Fall, until going, nah, switching back to Gage. A lot of songs that were made during this era would eventually find its way onto what we know now as My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy and Watch the Throne.
Wow, that wasn't a bear?
And some songs just given to friends for their records. Or not, but as we all know the history by now, Kanye hitting the nay-nay on stage at the VMAs and getting exiled, working on songs and eventually releasing...
I never in my 18 years of life did I think that someone would describe the incident at the MTV Awards or whichever it was as hitting the nay-nay on stage. Seriously.
Power as the first single in this new era, and later in July officially scrapping the Job name. It was clear a new record was coming, just not good ass. So technically, the closest thing we'll ever get to it is Dark Fantasy, which I'm not really complaining, but considering the direction he was originally going, if everything went according to plan, I would have loved to hear what that original of the time fourth Ye album would have sounded like. That would have been interesting. But sure, I'll take some genre-defining albums instead. But this man is losing his mind. Speaking of minds...
Yeah, Brockhampton pop. I think that was like scrap because like the accusations against Amir Van, and it's pretty sad, especially as someone who's considering getting into Brockhampton. That's gotta be unpleasant to had to be unpleasant to think about and go through.
Broccoli, Hampshire, hailing from Texas, consisting of an entire summer camp of members with, at its peak, housing almost 20 guys. A real fortress. Led by Kevin Abstract, these talented group of guys would go on to completely change what it meant to be a collective, referring to themselves as a boy band rather than a traditional rap group, pulling from tons of genres. They got their start releasing their debut mixtape All American Trash, amazing name, but eventually bunkering down and banging out some of the best music throughout 2017 through their trilogy of tapes titled Saturation. Allegation. With that under their belt, they were gearing up to release their next project, Team Effort, until switching into what would eventually be known as Puppy. This is a would have been record of the summer. With slower jams and banging anthems, 2018 was really heating up to be something special for the crew. And with a newly acquired record deal at RCA, a teaser with the Jaden Smith, and occasional live streams on IG, there was no stopping this momentum. Until it stopped. Allegations of abuse being levied at one of the core members, Amir.
I just talked about these.
Checking and consulting, ultimately deciding to remove him from the group. Some of the songs meant for Puppy being reworked for their radio show, Things We Lost in a Fire, and for Kevin's solo album, Arizona Baby, the next year in 2019. Just a sad case, man. Now, it's been a while since both parties parted publicly. Brockhampton releasing a couple of tapes tackling their feelings, the latest being Roadrunner, which a video of mine was actually seen by one of their members, HK, their graphics designer, and had nothing but kind words for me.
Sometimes, you know what I do? I just do this. Just store by. Only because sometimes there'll be like a decent video. Maybe somebody who makes a video like this where will Roadrunner be actually good? And I'm not going to watch that because I know it's going to be good.
I said he saw it. I didn't say he watched it. Come on now. An ex-member, Amir Van, stepping out of the limelight to work on himself and coming back in 2019 with an EP and a couple singles that aren't bad. Glock 19 fucking slaps. But only time will tell if we get this thing, with Kevin constantly teasing his fans with on top of a lot of the tracks being leaked already in some way. They sound fucking awesome, by the way. But
let me go back. It was like the same day.
On top of a lot of the tracks being leaked already in some way. They sound fucking awesome, by the way, but it's not the real thing. The boys are working on their last album as we speak. It's probably not Puppy. That's okay. It's not summer in 2018 anymore. I'm more excited to see how they're gonna end this saga personally. At the end of the day, we can only speculate as fans the future of all these fellas. For me, I'd love to see Amir on this last record. I mean, it's the last album. Let's end with a bang. But if
it's probably that's not probably not gonna happen.
I totally get that also. Plus, they're all grown people. They can make their own decisions. I guess all I'm saying is, just give me another episode of Keeping the Band, man. That shit was funny.
How's this shit going? How it is? I always seem to kill it.
Drake, views from the 6 for growing 2014, 2015.
AKA Drake. Drake.
I know, what the frick, right? Out of everyone, I picked the lesbian guy. But there's a reason he's here, okay? Hear me out. What do you mean? We already got this album. But contraire, my stuffy nose viewer, as what we got was views. But what I'm talking about is the album originally intended, that being views from the 6. They're different, I swear. Now, when it comes to unreleased stuff, Drake's milk bucket is pretty empty, but he does have his fair share. A lot of the tunes off 2019's Care Package was stuff that was floating around until being released his way. Half the songs were like fossils at that point already, but hey, better late than never. In 2015, we got If You're Reading This, It's Too Late, a surprise commercial mixtape released in February, and later that year saw What a Time to Be Alive, a collab tape with him and Future. Both of these projects would see Drake in a creative wave, as this, some would say, was Drake at his rapping peak. Continuing this direction, he kickstarted for himself in 2013 and announcing this Views project the next year. You could tell Drake was at least pushing to be seen as a competitor in the rap scene, and with his new project on the horizon, we would hopefully see him tackle this side head on. I'm kidding! Now, I guess in hindsight, Drake took the better overall option for his career. I mean, as much as I dunk on him, he's not an idiot. And with everything weighed against him, he ultimately...
Stop comparing Drake to me, too. He don't write his own raps. That's why he ain't tweeting my album, because we found out. Meek Mill. Oh yeah, I think it was like beef with Meek Mill over like ghostwriting or something.
He decided to go for longevity rather than petty, like being petty. That didn't age well, as after being outed for using ghostwriters on IRT, he would instead choose to ride the trends of the times, from dancehall to UK drill to whatever this is. But to say there's no interest
It's literally just trend hopping.
The guy is an understatement. Just looking at Honestly Nevermind, I don't think it's a surprise the most popular songs on the album are the rapping cuts.
TikTok was clowning on that album when it came out. Just memes about malls and stores using it in their, malls and stores. Yeah, they were clowning on it.
Personally, if I'm putting this on, I think some of the cuts off reading this were originally meant for this unreleased album, with even the second half of You With Me off Views actually being a snippet from the title track from the original album. TLDR, I just want to hear what a polished Drake rap-focused album sounds like. Maybe sprinkle some singing cuts in there if you want. The closest we have right now is reading this, and I guess side one of Scorpion if you want to count that. Don't even look at me. But man, just a proper rap album with videos, good production, proper rollout, not this. Actual effort. Do it.
Just do
I was not
it!
expecting to use that in 2022.
Honorable mentions.
That's all my normie picks out of the way. Now we can get to the good stuff. Some honorable mentions I want to mention real quick are just random albums I would have loved to see, like Daft Punk's Alive 2017, a would have been live remix album from the electronic duo in their Alive series, being live albums from their respective tours. The first in 97 and the second in 97.
I was still thinking about Drake, and that just got me thinking Drake was gonna do something with Daft Punk. That would have been crazy.
People, including myself, assume they do one every 10 years, using their latest
Doing It Right is a pretty good song.
vocals to remixes and such. Granted, they never said it was a series or anything, so put me in the idiot box. Just thought it would have been really cool to see. They hit the off switch instead. Last year, a couple fans decided to make their own remix album, and between this and 20-year-old content, I'll take it. Another one is Michael Jackson 4, the fourth project he would have done with legendary producer Quincy Jones. The two of them creating some of the best records of all time together in the 80s, but
Okay, even as someone who isn't really a fan of Michael Jackson or Quincy Jones, even I can admit that them working together, that would have been live. I'm just saying.
Bud had a falling out a bit after Bad came out, but near the end of his life, Jackson and Quincy were rekindling their relationship and were in talks about potentially doing another record together. I don't think this even left the drawing board, but with modern technology and the music landscape of the time, it would have been really interesting to see how that could have played out. Lastly are two projects from the late MF Doom, the first being Mad
R.I.P.
Villainy 2,
the villain.
the real Mad Villainy 2, and Adult Swim's Missing Notebook rhymes. Starting with the Swimmers, in 2017, them and Doom were doing this compilation album consisting of unreleased Doom songs, releasing a new song every week across 15 weeks. We got 7 songs in until Adult Swim canceled the series, leaving 8 songs to be just lost to time. And of course,
That would have been cool. I'd love to hear some more Doom songs.
There were always rumors about them doing another one, but nothing ever came of it until after Doom's passing, where Madlib, Mad Villain's second half, stated that the two of them actually did work on a sequel record, getting around 80% of it done, but didn't get around to finishing it. He did say he's open to releasing it if he ever decides to finish it, so it looks like
Madlib, you gotta release it. Come on, you gotta release it. Do it for the fans. What are you doing?
Drop the album! Drop the album! That's all you gotta do!
clear skies ahead. I mean tornado time with no code. And there you have it, albums I wish came out. I'm sure this list convinced at least one of these artists to reconsider. I'll be waiting for the announcement and my inspiration check right here. And yeah, I guess this is like part 1 of this unreleased album train, as next up is the main video on them. So go give it a watch if it's out. Also, there's no package in this video. I mean, he could come right now if he wants to. It's up to him, but don't count on it. Hey, could you open the door?
Alright, that was a pretty good idea. I'm really bummed about the Doom products the most. He was a great rapper, and I'd love to see Mad Villain 2 get released whenever it does. But anyway, yeah, go in the link to watch the shoot. Go in the link and yeah, go in the link in the description to watch the original video and just like and subscribe.